Adam Colvin from Batwizard, who is also a realtor in the greater Louisville area. Uh, Badass drummer. He's multi-instrumentalist. I mean, how many instruments do you play?
I play guitar, bass, drums. I can sing if pressured to do it, but mainly the drums and guitar. So just
Okay.
two, I guess.
Well, bass. I mean, we'll say three.
Yeah, we can say three.
Yeah. Okay. So let's kind of start from the beginning with you. What was your inspiration to get into music?
Oh wow, that was a long time ago. I was I was a freshman in high school. I didn't have any friends in high school. First day of freshman year at Ballard High School, I met a kid who'd moved here from DC, and he played bass, and we just started talking, and he was like, oh, okay, well, we're going to start a band. And, I was going to play guitar at the time, but I chose drums. I didn't have a drum set, but we made up a band, and we just kind of started out as sort of just friends making noise. And I don't know, we just kept doing it. And actually, like, we could play. And so I was 15, and that was in 1989. So when I was younger than that, I was probably 14. And that was a long time ago. And it just started from there because I didn't have any friends. And, I always wanted to do it as a kid. And it just kind of took off from there.
You're old.
Yes. A little bit.
I say that. I'm right there with you. I think yeah, I don't even remember when my freshman year was. It was probably around the same time.
Yeah, I think it was, it might have been 88, 89, something like that. I graduated in 93. So it was, it all kind of started as a joke. It was just like, oh, we're in a band now, and we actually started playing. So it was, it all took off like junior and senior year. That's when it got real. We started playing shows then. And, it got really fun by my senior year. So
right on. So what turns into a joke just ends up being real fun, which reminds me of a joke. As a comedian telling the joke, he said, "Man, me and these friends, we used to play like gay chicken, and I did it one time with this dude, and now we've been married 15 years. We adopted 3 kids."
Yeah. It was just, we played our first show, and then we jumped on a bill, and then we played at a house party in February of 1992. And the next show we played with a local hardcore band called Endpoint. It was a really big deal. And then it just went from there, and it went haywire for about a year and a half. It was really fun. But I never stopped playing, and it became a need after a while. I really got into it, and I've never stopped. I've taken breaks here and there, but I've been playing music ever since. So
right on.
It got to be a really big deal in the last 10 years, even more so in high school. So.
Yeah. How long's Batwizard been together?
Batwizard started as a 2-piece in 2014. I was in a band called Old Vikings before that, and the guitar player for Old Vikings and the original guitar player for Old Vikings and I started Batwizard. It was about 2014. It's a 2-piece, and we were a 2-piece for a very, very long time. Well, for me, it was a very long time. Batwizard's been through a lot of changes, but it was a 2-piece for a good 2 years before we ever did anything real, with a whole band. It was an instrumental 2-piece.
Yeah. Who was the guitar player?
Gary Capra. He plays guitar in Weaving Spiders now. We want to release the 2-piece stuff. It's pretty good. I like it. It's different, but it's just 2-piece instrumental stuff. Our rehearsal space was in a recording studio. When they weren't recording bands, we practiced there. So it was real easy for us to record. And we only have one session really, but it has like 6 songs on it. It came out I liked it.
Yeah, kind of like a Beast in the Field.
A little bit. They were a huge influence. We toured, Old Vikings toured with Beast in the Field. Our Batwizard's first show was with Beast in the Field. Those guys in Beast in the Field stayed at my house 3 separate times when they toured through Louisville. They were really good friends. I mean, they were a huge influence. I mean, we love Beast in the Field. I wish they were so loud.
Those guys put on such a great show.
They were amazing. Yeah, they were incredible. They almost they were one of the last shows at what became the New Vintage, which was Uncle Pleasant's, and the first chord they hit, the owner wanted to shut down the show, shut them. It was a huge fiasco because they were so loud, and I'll never forget that. Like right when they started playing, they were like, "That's it." They wanted to stop it immediately, and it was a big mess started from that. So.
Oh shit! Yeah, I saw them. Where did I see them? I saw them at a place up in Detroit a number of years ago. Oh, they were with Battlecross.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they were from Lansing, Michigan, up near Lansing.
That was a fun show. I remember Old Vikings too. I like Old Vikings. I sometimes go back and watch some videos.
Yeah, I had fun in Old Vikings. That was like my first, like I've been wanting to play really heavy music for a long time. And Old Vikings was the first one that got me back into it. Just no compromise, just complete, just as loud as possible. I love that. So I got really into that.
Right on. And now you got Batwizard, which is, how would you describe Batwizard?
Kind of similar to Old Vikings. Just, no subtleties, and it started out kind of stoner rock kind of stuff, and doom. We had a lot of different influences. It's kind of morphed into this kind of metal thrashy rock thing now. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's a lot of hardcore elements in it. I just don't want any subtleties and have it like on full blast the entire time. I don't know how I would describe it. I mean, there's a way that I want it to. I kind of want it to be, and then when we write the songs, how they turn out, it's totally different. So, I want it to be like this doom thing. I really love Pentagram and Witchcraft and Graveyard and stuff like that. I would love it to be like that, but it turns out to be this crush metal, thrash metal thing. And so it's fun to play, though.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch you guys play.
Yeah, cool.
So show Saturday. Pretty stoked about that.
Yeah, it's our first show in a while. I went through some life changes and, took the summer off, and we haven't played since April of 2023. So it's been a minute for us, but we have been rehearsing, and so we should be ready. Hope we'll be ready.
I'm sure you guys will crush it.
Yeah, it's like riding a bike. I mean, I've played some of these songs forever, and it's still fun to play. But we've taken a long break.
Yeah, have you written a bunch of new stuff in that break time?
I have. Yes, I did. In the last 2 months, I've personally taken a big break. I haven't picked up my guitar at all. I just needed the break. I've just been had some other habits and other hobbies I've been doing, and it just hasn't been as much of a priority at the moment, but it'll kick back up. I know it will. So it's just a matter of time. I've taken breaks here and there. Every time something slows down, I'll take a few months off, but it's always like I get back on it.
Yeah, like riding a bike.
It's just like riding a bike. Yeah.
Do it. You get back to it. So speaking of like Doom, are you going to go to that Legalized Lex show?
I want to. That is in,
April.
when is that?
It's on 420.
Oh, then I would love to go. Lexington does have, a whole bunch of doom bands and stuff. I would, they have a really good scene there. You know, about time. I mean, Lexington's always had some decent bands. It's a big rivalry, but it's in the last couple of years they've put out some great stuff. So they've always had some good bands. I'd love to go down there and see it. I missed. There was something that went off there in December. I missed it. I can't remember the name of it. I'm kind of out of touch. I'm not kind of out of touch. I'm really out of touch at this point. But I'd like to. I like Swamp Walk. Swamp Walk is pretty great.
Yeah, Crop's really good. Blessed Black is on that bill. They're like a doom band with. I always explain it like it's doom with these 80s like new wave of British heavy metal influence in there.
And they're all from Lexington?
No, Blessed Black is from Cincinnati.
Oh, okay.
One of their dudes, the front guy actually, Murphy, he's also in Workers.
Huh. No, I'll look out for them. I'll look out for them. I'm always looking for new stuff. I love underground music. I have an affinity for the underground. And I don't know, there's just something just a little different about it for me.
It's fresh.
Well, it's fresh. I mean, it's always, a lot of times, that's where the cutting edge is. And it's always been appealing to me to be, like I never went to arena rock shows. I never went to big, arena shows. I never did. I have been in the, since, but I started out going to club shows and punk rock shows and basement shows and, house parties and skate park shows and stuff like that for years and years and years and years. And that's just kind of how I go see music. And I don't know. It's a big appeal to me.
Yeah, I prefer smaller shows, but I won't hesitate to go to a big show either. My first concert overall was Michael Jackson on the Thriller tour.
Oh wow, nice.
And I was so young, I don't really remember the show. I was probably 7 or 8. But I attribute that to my love for music. 'Cause I see you guys play. You guys are really good. Louisville's got a lot of really good bands too.
Yeah.
So just going, seeing everyone, the high energy. And the other thing about smaller shows is it's like family. You go in there, you see people, it's like, hey, I haven't seen you since the last show.
Oh yeah. It's Louisville has, I almost moved away at two different points, but I've always stayed here. I've always thought Louisville music is just different. I think Louisville, there's a lot, every town has like their criticisms, but for me, Louisville has a lot of authenticity. People who play music here do it because they either need to do it or because they love to do it. We don't have hardly any posers here. That's my perspective. I don't see any posers. It's like everybody's in it. Everybody's kind of a lifer, and like they love it like with a deep passion. And it's very authentic. And the bands who play, good or bad, whether they pull it off or not, they're up there because they love it and they have this drive to do it. And that's always appealed to me. And I think that's what helps Louisville stand out from a lot of places. And, I've always put Louisville on a pedestal. It's always been real special to me. And, but I've kind of thought about it lately, and the authenticity is what separates it from, like an industry town where people were trying to make it. And, I've been to some cities, I'm not going to name them, where, I've seen like, posers and like, it's just kind of silly. And, I don't see that here. Maybe you do, I'm out of touch, but I don't see it. I see a lot of like really authentic people who are at the shows, who play the music because they love it a lot. So
part of that, I think, is like the style of music too, right? When you get in away from the heavier stuff, what I've noticed, right? You get away from the heavier stuff and you move to I'm going to say the more radio friendly stuff. You start to see the people who we just really want to make money with it.
Yeah, and there is that element here too. Just not as much as some other bigger cities. It does happen. It's always been around, but the underground music here, from the metal scene to the punk bands and the hardcore bands, and even like the shoegazer hipster stuff, the trance bands that are around. I mean, there's a lot of country bands and folk bands, and there's some amazing musicians here. And you can tell that they're doing it because they're compelled to do it, as opposed to, they're trying to fit into some mold. I mean, I see it pretty often. And, it's always, I just think Louisville's different that way.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I love it here. I've been here off and on for 22 or 23 years now, and it's very different from Nashville, where I was before.
I didn't know you lived in Nashville.
I did. I lived in Nashville for a few years. I was in St. Louis for a few years, and wow. I grew up in Detroit.
Yep, I knew you grew up in Detroit, but I didn't know you lived in Nashville.
Yeah,
I like Nashville. It's just a different town. It's kind of it is an industry town. I mean, it's very, very, it's totally different than when I was a kid going there. But Louisville gets bypassed a lot, as you probably know. I mean, because you go to a lot of shows out of town. You go to Cincy a lot, in Indianapolis, and, to see some of the bigger bands go on tour. I mean, a lot of times they don't come to Louisville. So we have, and this has been the same since I was young, that Louisville's had to rely on itself. So that changes things. Just my opinion.
No, it absolutely does. There was a stretch of time where we got some really good, solid shows here, and now they're really focused more on Cincinnati and Indianapolis and Nashville. So it's like, I mean, obviously I'll travel for a show, but I would much prefer it to be here.
Yeah. But it's always been like that. We've always been bypassed. I mean, Bogart's back in the, when thrash metal was huge, they got every thrash band, all the metal bands on, Roadrunner and Metal Blade and, Earache. I mean, everybody went to Cincinnati and played at Bogart's. They never showed up here. So everybody had to go. We went to Cincinnati a lot. Or actually other people did. I didn't. But, I was here watching shows at the Zodiac Club downtown and the Sugar Dough and the Machine and just goofy stuff like that. That's just what I was used to. I never went up to Cincinnati, but we always got bypassed. It's been like that for forever.
Yeah, it's hard, I think, with the size of venues that we have. I mean, now we've got Paris Town Hall, which is about 2,000 people.
Yeah, I like Paris Town.
Yeah, like it's pretty cool. I went to see Cannibal Corpse.
Yep.
And and
oh, nice. Yeah.
You were at that show. I didn't see you, but
yeah, I brought my 8-year-old son to that show. I had a good time. He ended up wanting to leave, but we do get some shows, but it's just not on the regular circuit,
right?
And that's fine, but that's just the way it's been.
I think with the way population growth has been here, it it probably won't be too long, and we'll start seeing a lot more regular shows. I mean, Nashville, when I left, it was Nashville, Charlotte, and Louisville were the next three like cities to
Mhm.
explode with population.
Yep.
And those two are done, and we're working on it now.
That would be great if that happened. I mean, I would love, Louisville has a lot of opportunity here. It always has. For whatever reason, it hasn't, Nashville completely leapfrogged Louisville big time. I mean, it's a completely different place now. And, yeah, it's shocking, but, I don't know. I really like it here. I don't know. It's real easy to live here, easy to play music, and a lot of musicians here. And I've never had any problems with like finding people to play. So
no, there's a lot of great musicians here, and it's not a real big town. It's what's the 6 degrees of separation? Here you've got
1 degree here.
Yeah.
I mean, some of my favorite musicians that I've ever seen are from here. I mean, they're some of the best guitar players I've ever seen. Dave Polinsky's one of them. Nick, he's in War Cloud. I forgot his last name. He was in Stonecutters for a while.
Oh, he's playing with Savage Master now.
Savage Master, correct. He's in a bunch of bands. Yeah, and Dave Polinsky, who's in Voyage of Slaves, and he sings for Volcandra now.
Nick Burke.
I'm sorry? Nick
Burke.
Burke, yes, absolutely, 100%. I mean, those guys, they're incredible guitar. I mean, like, they're amazing. I don't know how they do that, but, watching them, and there's been, there's a lot of drummers, lots of musicians around here that have made me feel about an inch tall watching them play. They're just incredibly talented. But again, they're just driven by this. There's not an image they're seeking. They're driven by just a love and a passion for it. And that's what I've always liked. And it kind of, it's real. It's authentic. So,
well, I think, with that, you tend to attract the people that are like-minded. When you've got a huge passion for music, obviously, right? That's a big thing you and I connected on.
Yep.
You've got a passion for music. Like it doesn't matter. That's the one thing. That's the one thing that I always attribute to, like, it will bring everyone together. It doesn't matter your race, your sexual preference, what you identify as. None of that shit matters.
That's right.
We're all there to enjoy the music.
Yeah. And, what is it? You receive the energy you put out, and, that's what happens. Like you just said, I mean, like, everybody has this, like, just, it's really weird. It's like, so I remember Lil being like, people asking a common question here is, what are you listening to? And people just talking about the music they've been listening to. That doesn't happen in a lot of places. We take that for granted here, I think, because I have lots of conversations with people that I know. I mean, we're, one of the first things we say to one another is, what have you been listening to? And we just start talking about music as if it's just a normal conversation. That doesn't happen in a lot of places, from my experience. It may have, but I don't experience people just walking up to you and just talking about what you've been listening to the last week. It's because we're obsessed, and that, I love that. I fully admit that I'm obsessed with music. So, I listen to all sorts of stuff. I was listening to T-Rex today. Actually, that was my venue today. Listening to the greatest hits, T-Rex greatest hits, and but it flips all the time. And I just recently discovered Spotify. How about that? How papaw is that? I just recently was like, oh, I could play Bluetooth in my car. My old car didn't have Bluetooth. A tree fell on it. I got a new car. It has Bluetooth. and I finally got Spotify, and of course I love it. And I'm like, oh, I'm not trying to plug Spotify here, but it's just easy.
It's convenient.
It's super convenient, and I've been finding all sorts of stuff on it, and I've been enjoying it. And T-Rex was on there today. Caius was yesterday. I
had Queens of the Stone Age today.
Yep.
And
okay.
Yesterday was this band called In Mourning.
Okay.
They're a progressive death metal band out of like Sweden.
Nice. Yeah. Our singer sent me a couple of bands via Messenger. I forgot their names, but I mean, it's just a constant like referring. I have people who refer music to me all the time, and I mean, I write it down and I save it, or I used to, but now I'll just go to Spotify and I'll find it and I'll save it. But I mean, I have a notepad sheet on my phone when someone recommends a band, especially people who I know really love music. I mean, you being one of them, if you recommend me a band, I'm going to put it in my notepad, and I have a big list of bands that people have recommended to me. And I mean, I go listen to it. And Bewitcher, they're from Portland, Oregon. Mm-hmm. The other day, I wonder if they played Metal Monday or not. I think they have. Maybe not. But I
feel like they played here, though.
I think they have played here. I randomly found them, but it's just, it's all sorts of different stuff, and I don't listen to just metal, but listen to Pentagram, listen to one of their albums all the way through twice yesterday. Love Pentagram, and I don't know. That's just kind of what happens here. I don't know. I'm not the only one that does that. And
no, you're not.
And Louisville's like real deep with that. And I don't know. It's kind of what I don't know. I won't say it keeps me here, but it's I don't know. It kind of it motivates me for sure.
Well, again, right? Like when you're connected with people who are like-minded, where we can have conversations like this and talk about the bands we're listening to, it's like invigorating.
Hell yeah, absolutely. I mean, I get excited over it. I mean, I wear it on my sleeve, so I mean, I'm I get like turned on like talking about it, and it's also because like, I think of the outsider status with being a metalhead, like listening to metal. It's a very outsider thing. So you're the outsider, but now you're with those outsiders talking about what you all love together.
So
to me, that's inspiring and invigorating. I love that. And It just kind of like forms a bond of what it means to be this outsider. I don't know. I really enjoy it.
Well, it's the connection, right? It's the connection we all really need.
Yeah.
At the end of the day for our mental health. And it's, that's probably the biggest thing for me about the metal community. And one thing I'm really learning over the last probably 4 or 5 years, probably last decade with the metal community is we don't just listen to metal, I like Blind Melon. And
I was listening to Stone Roses yesterday too.
Right on.
I'm okay with it. So,
like, who cares? If you like it, that nothing else matters. That's what I try to preach to my daughter is like, if you like something, enjoy it, whether I like it or not. Like it doesn't, or, if anyone else likes it or not, that doesn't matter. What matters is that you like it. You think it's good. You enjoy it.
100%. And, a lot of people, the stereotype of a metalhead is like, this, and it's like meathead, it's like, meathead caveman, like, we don't listen to like, real, not open, closed-minded and things like that. But what the reality is that I have experienced is most metalheads are some of the most open-minded people I have ever met. And that encompasses not just music, but in all walks of life for the most part. It's a very accepting and like almost like a loving that culture around it that I've experienced. I have not, because most of the metalheads I know, which are most of my friends, they love all music. I mean, it's not, and they're unashamed to say like, oh, this song from so-and-so, they love the hook. And, I think that's being recognized a little bit more these days. I've read something, we both have probably read the same thing online about the mental health of a metalhead is better than most, I attribute that to the kind of accepting nature of the culture. And I think that's great. And, I never really put two and two together about it, but I was like, oh yeah, that's right. It's really open-minded about stuff. And, there's no drama. I don't see any drama at a metal show. I maybe have seen, I can't remember the last time I saw a fight at a metal show. I can't remember just any bad vibes at a metal show. I mean, not to say that they don't exist, but I'm saying I have not experienced it. I don't know. It's just, I think, a part of the culture that it's a very open-minded and accepting.
I agree. Overall. You look at them, mosh pit etiquette, right? Like someone falls down, everything stops. Let's get up and fall down, and then we get back to it.
And it's also that, like, when people are dancing around and stuff, like nobody's out there to like punish someone or like beat them to a pulp and like sucker punch some little kid. I mean, it happens, but that's not the purpose of it, and it seems that some genres of music that like, pummeling somebody is the point. And I don't see that much ever really, with the metal community. I don't know. I've just, it's, I don't want to compare it to going to a Dead show, because I didn't go to any Dead shows, but I have seen a Dead cover band, and the people there were like super friendly. And I don't know, I was like, who was nicer,
Yeah.
It was so silly.
So the first metal show that I took my daughter to was Max and Igor doing Return to Roots at Diamonds.
I was there for that. I love that show. I was stoked on that big time.
Yeah, it was a great show, and it was a great show for her to go to. Like, I think Artwork for the Blind and Eulogy for Blood.
I think I may have missed.
No,
it's a weird lineup. That's right. Yeah, we did that, and I was downstairs in the brew pub all before that show. But that was a great show to take your daughter to. That was really energetic, and like everybody was into that, and like she probably was blown away by that.
Well, she was, and we walked in, and immediately Jay Shepard was like, "She came to a metal show?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, first metal show." He's like, "That's so cool." Blah. And they all started like signing drumsticks and shit and giving to her. And
nice.
Like, she's like, "Yeah, this is great." And she, really is more of she's starting to listen a little more to metal because like her boyfriend likes it. And of course, right, you get in my car, we're listening to what I listen to. Doesn't matter.
Right. I'm the same way.
But she's getting more into it, and she really likes, what does she like? She likes musicals like Hamilton. Hamilton's her favorite. And that kind of stuff. But she sings to that all day long, and I'm like, cool, go to it.
Yeah. It's just my little girl, we listen to DJX 99.7 DJX in the car, which is like, popular pop music and stuff like that. But I tell her, I'm like, I will always love a hook. I mean, a catchy song, I don't care who wrote it. For the most part, I don't care who wrote it. But, I'll accept there's a Taylor Swift song out there that I've listened to. I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. Stuff like that. Dua Lipa, I listen to that. I have to listen to that in the car. Doja Cat, I have to, I'm exposed to that a lot. But it's okay. You know, I mean, it's not that I'm going to listen to it all the time, but I mean, I can, you know, I'll always love a hook.
For sure. Well, and you mentioned Taylor Swift, and that's, if you played a song for me, I would have no idea, right? I'm sure I've heard it.
Yeah, it's just the way I know her voice, but I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you a song.
So I've got mad respect for her because, like, when she played Nissan Stadium in Nashville, it was raining. They delayed, and she didn't come out until like 11 o'clock. And she chose to come out and play. It was still pouring, raining.
Wow.
She played till like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like,
she's no doubt talented, and you know the effect she has on her fans is, you know, it's incredible.
Rabid, man.
Hell yeah. And you know, my daughter's not there. I mean, she likes, you know, I don't really know what my little girl likes I can't pinpoint it. She likes Weird Al Yankovic and funny songs, and she likes making, you know, she likes stuff like that. She likes to laugh and be goofy, but you know, I don't force music on them, and you know, I expose them to stuff like you did with your daughter, taking them to shows. I want them to see live music, but I don't want to put expectations on them. You know, I don't force them to play instruments. If they want, I'd love to be in a band with my kids, but I'm not going to force them. If they don't want to do it, they don't have to. I want it to be organic if they want to, but you know, I just want them to enjoy the connection to music right there and in the story. You know, I just want you to connect to something and feel the love of it and just enjoy it like I do. And because I mean, music it's I don't know, it's moving, and I get, you know, I connect to it, and you know, it's a big deal. Yeah, they're getting there. I mean, my daughter's definitely going to be there. You know, my son, he liked the theme song to Pulp Fiction, the Ventures song that I mean, you've heard it a million times, but he heard that the other day and he perked up and was like, "Oh my God, what is this?" And I was like, "Okay, we'll listen to the Ventures now," you know, and you know, but music's a huge deal to me.
Oh yeah.
And
you've got, you know, the Ventures. You gotta expose him to Dick Dale.
Oh yeah, Dick Dale. We did the Trashman, the Surfing Bird. We went there. They loved that one. They never heard that before, and I'm going to get them a karaoke machine for our television so we can like do karaoke. They love doing karaoke. The Final Countdown from Europe is a huge deal in this house. Shockingly enough, they love that song. It's both of them do, and of course Rick Astley. Never Gonna Let You. The Rick Roll song. I don't. Yeah. they freaking love. Never Give You Up. Never Gonna Give You Up. That is it. Love that one. That's a huge song, which I'd never even heard that song in the 80s. I couldn't even remember that song until, you know, it became this internet meme, and now it's like, it's huge still. It's bigger than it ever was.
Yeah, literally everywhere you turn around.
They love it.
Who was I read this article the other day about this guy who he kept asking this company to take him off like the call list. So they started texting him, and he Rick-rolled him in text.
Oh, perfect. Nice.
Like, all right, that's cool.
I got Rick-rolled the other day on Facebook. Someone posted a link and I clicked on it and it hit me and I was like, oh my God. I mean, yeah. So it still happens. But yeah, I don't know. That just brings the house down kind of song in my house. So.
Oh, that's awesome. So that's the one you guys finished the night with. Boom.
Oh, it's the banger. Yeah. Actually, the closer's Final Countdown that we will do. We've done karaoke before, and they'll both do Rick Astley. Harper loves Madonna. My daughter loves Madonna a lot. And then the closer is Final Countdown. Okay. You know, which I see. So
my sister was huge Madonna fan. Her and her friends. You know, obviously it was the 80s, right? Her and her friends used to dress up and have the little lace glove, and it's like,
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, my daughter told me the other day she's in her Vogue phase, or she told me it's her Madonna era or Madonna phase or something like that. And she's like really into Madonna. And I'm like, all right, I mean, I don't know. I don't have a lot of rules as a parent. I just want them to be nice kids. And, if she wants to dress up like Madonna, I'll support her, let her go there. But,
Madonna's dad has a winery in Michigan, and it's for sale right now.
Oh, wow. You going to list it?
I wish. No, it's already listed.
Right.
I think it's got it listed at like $4.5 million or something.
Oh, wow. Yeah, didn't her father recently pass away? Something like that. Something like that. I may have seen that in the news, but yeah, I'm always impressed with your. Speaking of real estate, I've always liked your tri-state business model: Michigan, Indiana, and Kentucky. I don't know how you do it. That's
one day at a time.
I bet, man. That's not enough hours in the day. I don't know how I would do that. But
well, I mean, I'm trying to pick up Florida and Tennessee too.
Jesus, man. I don't know. You should be able to get Florida with reciprocity with Kentucky, I believe.
So no, because my main license isn't Kentucky, it's Indiana.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And they're not reciprocal. So if I wasn't reciprocal to get my Kentucky, I could get Florida. But I've already passed. I've already taken all the school for Florida. I just need to take the test.
Huh. Wow. Yeah. I don't spend. I don't know. It's just like that you're doing or want to do. What, 5 states? That sounds. That's wild.
Well, what I want to do is like 50 states.
Hell yeah, bro. That's awesome. Yeah, if you're going to go for it, go big or don't, it's weird how, speaking of real estate and being, a metalhead, and we've talked about this before, you and I, how, we were metalheads before we were realtors, and, we weren't in real estate and thought like, oh, I'll listen to heavy metal and that'll get me clients. No, we were metalheads first. They got into real estate, and just by virtue of being a metalhead and being in that accepting community, that's helped us as realtors. It's helped me. I'm sure it's helped you as well. It's helped you to deal with all of the diverse situations we deal with in real estate, the different people and the different, everybody has a different and unique story. No transactions ever alike, and you have to be open-minded and accepting and, understanding, and that ties in to the metal community. I see it that way. I think I'm a better realtor because I'm a metalhead. And I know that sounds crazy, but I think that's.
I agree, right? I feel the same way. Like, that's one thing. It's what sets us apart.
100%.
We're used to going into these heavy shows and dealing with a bunch of different people, from all walks of life that all enjoy the same thing. It's the same thing with real estate. Everyone wants to own a home. Doesn't matter where you're from, what you identify as, none of that, because at the end of the day, none of that shit really matters. Like, if you're really a girl trapped in a dude's body, how the fuck does that affect me? It doesn't.
Yeah.
Right.
I work a lot with the LGBT plus community, and I've helped everybody from you just pick a back. I don't know. It does not affect me. I don't judge anybody or think about it. It's just that everybody gets treated the exact same way, no matter what. And I attribute that to being in maybe not just the metal community, but the punk rock community in general, like where I grew up in, just dealing with runaway kids and outsiders and, people that normal society had basically kicked out. And, it wasn't by choice. Well, it kind of was by choice, but it was also just, we all kind of gravitated to this one location. And because that was the only community a lot of those people had. And, and being in that is just, it made me a different person, and I'm so grateful for it. I'm upon reflection at my age now, hanging out in parking lots and punk rock shows and doing all of that kind of stuff. I'm really grateful for it. It's, I don't know. It's made me just a more accepting and open-minded person. Very, very accepting and very understanding, I hope. And, I attribute that to being a fucking punk rock kid, little grungy dork in the freaking early 90s, like whatever it was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you stepped back, right? You were taught this is what we do. And that's why I like the music community so much, is like, it doesn't matter. Who cares? We're there for this purpose. And because we're there for this purpose, we have this connection.
Well, we're all very supportive, irregardless of background, identity, anything, whatever it may be, it's all accepted, and, it's not just accepted, it's supported. There's a genuine and authentic, again, love for the individual and their individual choices, and support for those individual choices. And, I don't know. I just find a lot of virtue in that. It's really weird. It's almost been accidental, to find that. But again, I'm so grateful that I got exposed to that, as opposed to, a normal life, whatever that may be. I was a latchkey kid, as a kid. I came home, my parents weren't there. I did whatever. I just would leave the house, and go do whatever I wanted, and I got exposed to a whole bunch of stuff. And
well, that was our generation, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think our generation was like the first generation where both parents were working and we were responsible for ourselves.
Pretty much.
So you get out of school and you're like, what do we do? I mean, I can tell you, my dad, probably right before we left Michigan, he was working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. So I'd get out of school, come home, everyone would come to my house. Right? We'd party until 11 o'clock, clean up, everyone leave. He'd show up like 3 minutes after the last person leave. We're pretending to be asleep in bed. Like, what can we do? And those growing up like that, right, taught us a lot.
Yeah. And it just, I don't know. I kind of dealt with people on the fringes, and people who kind of took it to the edge. And I ended up, I grew up, I went to Ballard, so I grew up out in the east end of Jefferson County, east end of Louisville. But by the time I was 15 years old, almost every single day I hung out in a parking lot off Grinstead and Everett Avenue, over by Highland Baptist Church. I hung out there almost every single day, and it was just a different world. And, a lot of runaway kids, just a lot of just feral activity, and I loved it. And I don't know, I just, I never wanted to be normal in the same thing. And that's why, playing music was a big part of that. and being a part of everybody was a skater or like some kind of like marginal thug, some runaway. It was just different, and but those were my friends, and they're still my friends, and a lot of them are clients now too, and it's definitely helped me professionally. I think it has, and it's weird how it's helped me. I know a lot of people who came from that community, and now at our age professionally, they're doing really well because they came from this accepting, understanding, basically loving community, which ties back into the whole heavy metal community and stuff like that.
And a lot of that, right, is sink or swim, right? You don't have any other option. So you either become successful or not. Like, Detroit was the same way. We grew up right outside Detroit, Canton Commons, and it was a projects, dude, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
My best friend growing up, still my best friend today, we were so poor, didn't have anything, and now, like, I don't know, I think his construction business did, I don't know, $2 million in revenue last year. Like, it's
great. I know some very successful, a lot of people that came from the, this punk rock skater community who they've done really well for themselves. And it's not just out of necessity. It's because there's like this culture and a sense of boldness and risk taking that they just, don't give a fuck really. And, they go at it and they just go for it. And they're also the most creative people. And, it's that boldness and that fire that drives them. And that's what makes them successful. They don't sit on their hands, they create, and they're innovators. And I don't know, I'm just glad I got to grow up around that.
Hell yeah. Well, and it's awesome to see those people become successful.
Oh my God. Yeah. 100%. And again, a lot of them became clients. So I get to help them, in a real estate transaction and help them better their lives through a real estate transaction and be a part of that success with them in just that one way. But, I get to share that with them. And, I love that about being in real estate is I get to, share that moment with people and help them, essentially better themselves and, financially at least. And, I love doing that.
Yeah, me too. It's seeing those people who never, who thought they'd never be able to buy a home, actually buy a home is like,
it's a great feeling.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. I had that happen, in November. I had a client and they were, just real pessimistic about the whole process. Like it won't happen for me. It can't happen. And, but, we pulled it together and we made it happen. And it was a very emotional moment at closing. I mean, it was very real. And, I felt it too. And I was so happy for her. And it just, I don't know. You can't fake that. I don't think you can. I guess some people could, but I don't think you can fake that. I think empathy is a required trait to be a realtor, I think. And you can't fake empathy. I guess you could, but I don't think you can. But I don't know. I like those moments when I can help somebody like that.
Oh, I do too. It's just, it's part of that connection, right? Help somebody get to that thing. And you're rooting for them the whole time. Like, you got this, you can do this. Right. And they nail it. You're like, shit. Yeah. And that look on their face is like,
I'm sometimes happier or happier than they are. I mean, I'm so excited for them because I know what they've done. I know what they've achieved. I know what they have, where they have put themselves. and I'm fully aware of it. And sometimes they don't understand the gravity of it. And, you know, I'm like, no, you did it. You got there. You put in the work and you made it. And, you know, so sometimes I get more of a thrill out of it. It appears, you know, they just, you know, they understand it down the road, but, you know, I don't know. I get a big thrill out of that, helping people.
No, I'm with you. I do too. Which is probably another reason why we connected, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So what do you guys have planned? I know we've got the show on the 13th.
I don't know. I don't know what we got planned after this. Our bass player is an accountant, and it's almost every year for the last couple of years, from January until April, she's locked down doing her accounting business, preparing and filing taxes, and so I don't know. It might be limited. It'd definitely be limited with her, but we don't know. I'm a little out of the loop. If we've gotten show offers after this one, we may have, but I'm not sure. But I'm geared up for this one Saturday. There hasn't been many shows in the last couple of weeks that I've been aware of. So I have a good feeling it's going to be well attended. And, I just want to have fun. And, I've been wearing my earplugs finally. And so I can focus and concentrate a whole lot better. It's every show's a big deal. And, I'm looking forward to it. I'm just trying not to overthink about it, really.
Yeah, I totally get it. I know I'm not seeing a lot of shows recently, but I know coming up there's you guys, then Storm Ruler and Volcandra's on the 19th.
Okay.
Another buddy's band is playing Planet of the Tapes on the 20th.
Okay.
Do you know Nest?
Yes, we played with them at Full Assault in 2021, I think. 2022. Yeah, it was 22. Nest played there. I believe they're from St. Louis. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they played. They did a good. They did a good cover of Roots, Bloody Roots from the Cavalera or Sepultura, and but they were good. They were solid.
They're here on the 8th.
Okay, they've played Metal Monday before, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But where is that at?
Portal.
Ooh, okay.
So they're playing. February 8th. They're doing the 7th with Pantera. They play the 8th at Portal. Then they're the 9th back with Pantera. I think they've got 6 or 7 Pantera dates.
Oh wow. Huh. Like Pantera, I guess. Where are they playing with Pantera? Is Pantera playing in Louisville?
Rupp Arena.
Oh, wow. Oh, gosh. And then they come to Portal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they're at one of the bigger venues in Nashville on the 9th.
Wow. Huh. Okay. Well, that's cool that I'll try to go check them out. They were good at Full Terror Assault. They were different, at Full Terror Assault, it's a lot of grind and, really extreme speed metal and stuff like that. And Nest was, similar. I'm not going to say they didn't sound like us, but they were just a little different, which set them apart, at Full Terror Assault. So
they'll get a little 30-minute thing in there either before or after they play. I don't know.
Yeah, your podcast here's taking off a little bit, Tom.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, you're getting some good spots. I like to see it.
Yeah, me too. It's cool, right? Especially being such a huge music fan. It's
yeah. I'm glad you're just reaching out to people, and it's happened. It's great.
I know my wife. I started working at 5 o'clock this morning, and obviously, right, we're still going at after 9, and she goes. She texts me at 7:30, she goes, "Hey, do you got an interview tonight?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Man, you don't stop, do you?"
Yeah. Right.
I'm like, "No." She goes, "Well, I know you really enjoy this." I'm like, "Shit, yeah, I do. Like, I get to
Yeah.
talk music with people who have, very similar tastes and outlooks. I fucking love it,
Right on. Yeah.
you know." Uh, so Omer did an interview. We showed the Stone Wizard 7-inch, which is like the official release Saturday.
Correct. Yeah. It kind of, yeah, it's the release is that I'm excited about it. That one came together like super quick. We have another 7-inch we'll be selling on Saturday that we recorded in 2019. The Void Fiend EP that we came out, that one was supposed to come out 2 years ago, and it just, for whatever reason, delay. And then it finally got put out in this past summer. And then the split with Stonecutters came out like super quick. I mean, it was just bang. And I was impressed that, we were expecting a huge delay and we didn't have one, not to my knowledge. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, me too. I've got the other 7-inch, the first one.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't put out a 7-inch since high school. So it's been bazillion years. And so I'm excited. I'm looking at them that I actually did that. And so it's good.
Yeah,
I'm really happy.
It's probably been 25 years since I released my last 7-inch.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Reagan Daly with Third House Communications. He's really motivated. He has a system down, and he's got, there's unlimited amount of bands to put out at this point from my perspective. And I think I saw he's gonna put out something by Crop, maybe.
Yeah, they're gonna release the Crop debut album on vinyl.
Oh, that's awesome. I really was hoping he would get Baptized too, who are here from Louisville, and I really loved them. They were great. But he's really motivated to continue doing it, which I think is great,
Yeah. Well, Reagan's another one, right? That it's that passion for the music.
Oh, yeah, he's ahead.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Such a good dude.
Yep.
Speaking of real estate, I sold him his house.
Oh yeah, I thought you may have helped him out in Valley Station. I was we met. And, I'm glad. I'm happy for him, and I've known him for a long time. And it just seemed, you could just tell like he had a spark. He's doing something he's always wanted to do, and it's actually happening. And I just love to see it.
Yeah, me too. Again, right? It's like knowing where we came from and seeing people like have the passion and do something, and not just, there's going to be roadblocks, and not let those roadblocks stop them.
Right. A lot of times those roadblocks are only in your head, and they're not insurmountable at all. We just tell ourselves that they are, and it's really, we are our own worst enemy most of the time, telling ourselves, oh, I can't do this. Oh, this is impossible. Not really.
Right.
Just gotta try. It can happen. It's same with real estate. People are like, oh, I'll never buy a house. I'll never be able to do that. And I'm like, well, no, actually, a couple things happen here and there. I'm talking to the right person, me or you, and we can make things happen for you. And I've had that happen several times. I'll never be able to do it. And then it happens, and they're like, how did you do that? And I'm just like,
I didn't, you did. Like,
yeah, I know. I didn't do, I just put you in a position, and you made it happen. I just kind of like pointed you in the direction for it, and that's all I did. And, but you did it. And, I just like seeing people, meet their goals of ambition to an extent, get over the hurdles and, don't tell themselves they can't do it and they actually get it done. I love seeing that.
Yeah, me too. It's great when everything comes together.
I know. Hell yeah.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, we're pushing it. We're, I don't know, probably an hour 20 or something now.
Oh, yeah. It's all good. Hey, you'll probably edit this out, but can you see that?
Yep.
Have you read this book?
I haven't.
Dude. It's I can't put it down. And it's like I don't want to compare it to Motley Crue, The Dirt, because the Dirt with Motley Crue is real salacious and gossipy and all this kind of stuff, but it was really engaging to read it. It was just kind of like watching a reality show, trashy reality show that you just couldn't stop watching. This one is just, I'm not even on page 40 yet. And it's just, I don't know. I'm recommending it. Okay, it's pretty good. It's really hardcore. It's really wild. It's sad. I mean, I'm on page 40. I'm only on page 40, and it's just, the guy's life is incredible. And it's just like, it's incredibly hard and sad. So I don't know. So I'm going to dive into that here for a couple hours.
Roy Orbison, same thing.
Really?
Yeah. So trying to think, when he was 18, his fiance, I'm probably going to get this wrong, but I feel like fiance was on the back of the motorcycle and they got into a motorcycle accident. She died. Then he met someone else, got married, had a couple of kids. He was on a TV show somewhere. House caught fire, kids died.
Damn.
It was like holy shit, dude.
Yeah. Mark Lanigan is like grew up in the 70s in Eastern Washington. Talks about being the town drunk at 14, and just it's like, it's hard to believe, but it's very believable. But it's I don't know. Good book. I'm gonna dive in deep on it here. So
all right. Well, I'll pick it up and read it, and then we'll chat about it.
For sure. Yeah, you'll blast right through it. But thanks, Tom. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, Adam, it's always a pleasure talking to you, dude. Hope you have a great night. Enjoy the book, and I'll catch up with you Saturday.
Yeah, I'll definitely see you Saturday. All right.
Sure. All right. Later, brother.
See ya.